Hi everyone, I'm Jason Galka and welcome to American Theater Channel. As a talk show host, I've enjoyed interviewing many of the biggest names on and off Broadway. I've been able to share the stories behind the stories and the drama behind the drama while spotlighting the amazing talented people that keep entertainment's original medium alive, local theater. The thousands of small black box theaters and community theaters in big cities and small towns across the country are still the birthplace of Broadway's biggest hits, Hollywood's most successful films, and television's most beloved shows. Sadly, some theater lovers have strayed from the stage. Others have never experienced it, and even more don't know that local theater still exists. And with the growing dependence on mobile, online, and digital entertainment, local theater needs our help. American Theater Channel is coming, and we want you to join us for the adventure and the opportunity of a lifetime. We are building the definitive online network dedicated to America's local theaters. We will revitalize local theater, develop new opportunities for theater producers, actors, and playwrights, produce and archive original plays that would have otherwise never been seen, reconnect with those who have strayed or can no longer make it to a live performance, and create a whole new breed of theater lover everywhere. We invite you to play your part in the next stage of local theater, American Theater Channel. To better tell the American Theater Channel story, we are very excited to be in Greenwich Village today, talking with Dan Lauria and Michael Urie. Dan made his Broadway debut in 2010 in the role of Lombardi and returns to the stage in A Christmas Story at Madison Square Garden. Dan is also known for his long-running role as Jack Arnold on the award-winning television show The Wonder Years. Michael is currently starring in the hit off-Broadway show Buyer and Seller and is best known for his role in the critically acclaimed TV show Ugly Betty. Welcome back. Once again, I'm Jason Galka, and joining me here for the American Theater Channel is two supporters who are very well known in both film and on stage, Dan Lauria and Michael Urie. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. My pleasure, and thank you for supporting the American Theater Channel. Dan, I'm actually going to start with you because you've been in the business for quite some time now. Your role...
Saying I'm old.
Okay. Not at all. Your experience.
Experience. Okay.
You do have a great deal of experience being both on stage and on set of television shows. Your current show is Sullivan and Son.
Sullivan and Son, yeah.
Wow. So tell us, why do you love acting so much? Why have you been involved in both theater and film for so many years?
Well, I was very fortunate. In my first month in the city, I met Charles Durning, who Michael did a reading of. And for matter of fact, Charlie told me if I ever went a year without doing a play, he would never talk to me again. And I've never gone a year without doing a play.
Wow.
So no real actor leaves the stage. It's two different experiences. I'm not speaking for Michael, but for me, TV and film now, our job is really not so much to create a character or anything, but to fill an editing machine. It's cut up so much. And, it's hard. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard to sustain it one line at a time when the person you're working with is going, can I say that line again? Let me say that line again, But in theater, the curtain goes up. It's Fisher cut bait. Boy, you get 40 minutes, 90 minutes, depending on how big the part is.
Right.
You're there. Yeah, it's a total different. To me, it's night and day.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you actually back on the Wonder Years. I was a child growing up, so to meet you is quite an honor. So were you also doing theater back then too, when you were on set of the Wonder Years?
Sure.
Wow.
I've
So
been
how
in
did you
trouble
juggle
with
the
my
two?
agents. I turned down a film to do other people's money, and I don't do revivals. Jack Klugman made me do The Price, but the deal was he had to do 2 new plays, and he did.
Wow.
So
Very interesting.
Yeah, but we always make room for. I know next year I'm going to do a play that I wrote at the New Jersey Rep, Dinner with the Boys,
Wow.
You know, so
you also have a new play that's coming up this year, actually.
it's actually a revival because we did it last year. Christmas Story was a big hit, so we're bringing it back.
Over at Radio City Music Hall.
Yep.
Excellent.
Well,
now, that is quite a stage.
No, we're at Madison Square Garden this year.
Okay.
It's bigger than Radio City Music.
Wow.
What?
5,000 seats.
Oh.
It's a barn.
Wow.
You know, they got to pack them in. It's a limited run show. You know, they gotta make
Whoa.
their money.
And you
But
were
I
very
went-
calm about it. You're not nervous about performing in front of 5,000 people?
No, especially this play. I mean, like, you know, when I did Lombardi, I was the man. I was the guy.
Yeah.
This play, I'm the least talented guy there. They all sing, they dance. They're all 10 times better than I am. You know, so you learn a lot from.
You don't
working.
tap at all?
Tap. I'm lucky I can walk. I don't do anything. They wanted me to sing 2 lines. They heard me try it once, and they said, "You can just talk it." I don't even sound good in the shower. So, I'm terrible.
Nonsense.
No, he's got it. This guy's got it all.
Yeah, Michael, your show that's here at the Barrow Street Theater, Buyer and Seller, is doing phenomenal. And you've also done
Thanks.
Ugly Betty as well. So what is the transition like for you doing on-screen and on-stage acting?
Well, you know, that's so funny. I didn't know that Charlie told you to do a play every year because you told me
Do a play.
to
every
do a
year.
play every year, and I have. I've never gone more than probably 9 months without doing a play.
That's why he's a good actor.
It just, I don't think an actor can stay in shape if they don't go in front of an audience. Personally, I think it's a completely different skill set to work on camera. But there's nothing that teaches you like working in front of an audience. You can accidentally be brilliant on film. Like Dan said, you're filling an editing machine, and you can get the director and the cinematographer can get you doing things that are beautiful and brilliant and truthful without you even knowing it.
Wow.
I know for a fact that there are times when you see things in movies and on TV shows where the actor didn't even know they were being filmed, or it was after the director had called cut, or before they'd called action. And that is cool, and that's extremely interesting for the medium, but that's not the same thing as acting. And getting up on stage and starting at the beginning and finishing at the end without stopping is the true art form, and the feeling of doing that is truly unlike film and television. I mean, film and television can be fun when you sit down and watch it, or when you go to the theater and you watch the premiere. It can be exciting, but it doesn't have the same kind of.
Absolutely.
The best thing about television for me is it pays for my theater.
Yeah,
acts.
exactly.
We don't get the money here. So, but that's why something like the American Theater Channel is neat. I mean, we're here at the Barrow Street Theater, and to see Michael's perform. Now, a lot of people in New York will see it. A lot of people in Chicago, right,
Yeah.
are going to see it.
And LA.
And in LA, because it's going to travel. But the rest of the country, they'll see the play eventually. It's a good play, it'll be published, it'll be done. But they're not going to see this performance. I mean, this is the definitive performance of this play. And that's why we need more than just, you know, Equity allows a record of the show that you could see at the Lincoln Library, but that's not really what the audience sees. That's flat, and theater is very alive. It's very three-dimensional.
Absolutely.
You know, so we need a channel like this to preserve some of these great performances.
Absolutely. Theater is very important. I mean, so many people are involved. There's so many very good off-Broadway shows that aren't on Broadway that get rave reviews right here in New York, of course. I mean, I know you guys love the theater, you love acting, you love what you do, but why is local theater so important?
Well, I think all the arts are important. If you go online and Google right now, landfill harmonics, it's about a garbage man in Paraguay who found a shell of a violin, fixed it up for a kid. Kid started playing, so they started making instruments out of garbage, and they are now touring the world.
Wow.
And this one little girl says, and they showed the poverty she lived in. And she said, without music, my life is worthless. And I think without the arts, especially nowadays with all the kids on the computers, their creative skills are not encouraged or enhanced. But if they see his performance in this, if they hear somebody play a concert, you know, if they see great works of art, they are stimulated to create. So I think the theater is needed for that.
Yeah, it breeds art.
Yeah.
I watch it, you know, in this play that I'm doing. It's direct address. Much of it is direct address, so I look right at the people in the audience, and I see people's faces change. I mean, there's so many. They go through so many things during the course of the play. At first, they're scared that I'm going to ask them to do something. At first, they're like,
Nobody has me to participate.
yeah, please don't ask me to be in it. I don't want to be in it. I don't want to be in it. Which I don't. And then they're curious, and then they laugh. It's a very funny play. They laugh. It turns back to curiosity, and I watch them go through all of these different emotions, and you can see true inspiration in their eyes. And the nature of theater is a call to the audience to use their imagination, and you have to bring your own experience to the room, because it's just four walls and a set and actors pretending on stage. You don't believe that it's really happening.
Right.
Unlike in a film where they can do anything now. They can show you
so
anything in a
amazing.
film. You don't even have to think anymore. You don't have to do anything. You just put on the 3D glasses and suddenly you're in space or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's
And
absolutely amazing.
that's excellent and exciting, and I love those movies and I go to them. But it doesn't actually like call you to action. And the theater
And it's
does.
not about the word. It's about
That's
the
true.
image.
It's about the image. And with the theater, it's about the language, it's about the words, about how people communicate with each other. And you are tired at the end of a play. You yourself are tired because you've worked. The audience is part of it. You have to bring your own experience into the room with you, or the play doesn't actually do everything. It's not our job to do everything. You have to bring your own experience, as well as yourself. Your butt in the seat. You also have to bring your own experience to the room.
The actors live on that response. It's
Yeah.
the greatest
You kind
feeling.
of feed off of it.
Oh yeah,
right?
but it's the greatest feeling when you know you got them.
Oh yeah.
And Jack Klugman, and he always said it took me 10 years to learn how to act and 35 years to learn how not to.
Wow.
And you guys will edit this if you want, but he always, we did a play called Value of Names. We got rave reviews. We were always good. It's never a matter about being good or bad. But we'd have those special nights.
Yeah.
And Charles Durning, who is my mentor, every time I did a play, he'd come see me, he'd put his arm around me and go, another 20 years, you're going to be an actor. And I never knew what to say. I always say, yeah, sure, Charlie, I'll keep working. So he and Peter Falk and Dom DeLuise came to see Jack and I in A Value of Names, and we had one of those nights. Usually you don't have them when your best friends are out there. It's always good, but you always push a little bit. We didn't. We were just flying. And as we were bowing, Jack goes, you got to get the boys together. We got to have dinner and find out what the hell we did right tonight. So we go to this dinner. It was a Tuesday night. It was a great night. They were talking about what makes those nights. Nobody really has an answer. And Charlie, very emotionally, puts his arm around me and goes, all right, another 10 years you'll be an actor. And Jack, without missing a beat, grabbed Charlie's arm very seriously. He said to the great Charles Durning, he says, Charlie, are you an actor yet? And Charlie said, Jack, I'm getting damn close. See, and that's a stage actor. I don't know if film actors would say that, because they don't have the experience of those special nights.
Right.
Sometimes it ends up editing in a film. Jack Lemmon once told me that when he saw Days of Wine and Roses, he was actually moved by his own performance, which very seldom, he said, that doesn't happen. Usually I'm so critical of myself. So he said they captured what we try for on stage in that, but very seldom does it happen. And he wasn't aware of it until he saw it put together.
Interesting.
Well, and then with film, the composer of the original score deserves so much credit for emotions, especially in the film. I mean, because if you can watch something without music and think, oh, that was nice, and then you put in the violins swelling,
Oh,
and
sure.
it'll bring tears
Yeah,
to your
it's
eyes.
so different when you just add that little piece, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, you can go up there
But that
and-
is out of your control. That doesn't
Right.
happen
Right.
while you're filming.
Right.
See, everything you see in the theater happens there, happens
there
now.
for you, special for tonight. And
Now, have
it'll
you
be
guys ever
different.
watched yourselves back and ever critiqued yourselves or said, you know, I could have did that
I
better
never,
or that
I never
should've-"
watch anything.
Never?
No.
Wow.
I watch
That-
everything.
Actors are different.
I mean, I watch everything, and I started watching everything because I wanted to know what it was like. I mean, at first, when I first was appearing on camera, it was out of inexperience. I wanted to like learn from it, and I was lucky enough to be on a TV series where you know I could go back and fix something. I mean, not fix what was already on TV, but I could get better. I could say, oh, you know what? When I look that way, I don't look, you know, you can't see or whatever. You know, I could like
Right.
figure out where the camera is, and I could learn from that. But it was with new material, with new episodes, with new stories. And then I got to, I have gotten to a point where I don't need to watch as much. I watch now out of curiosity for what they pick. But I remember it pretty, you know, I think acting in the theater, it gives you like, on the one hand, it stays in you. You know, like each performance sort of stays with you and informs the next. And I think something about that language has taught me as an actor to remember performances. And when I watch movies back or episodes of TV shows back now, I think, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, okay, good. I remember that. I remember that. And I don't need to watch as much.
Well, you know what's so great about I mean, I've done a soap opera, I've done a movie as well, and what I think is so interesting is like you can go back and redo the takes, but in theater you can't do that. So what happens if you miss a line or stumble over a word or something like that? What happens then?
Yeah, you get tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Sometimes those stumbles or things that end up sometimes you stumble because a thought came in. And that night, it will screw it up a little bit, but you can't wait to use that
Yeah.
thought tomorrow night, you know?
Yeah.
So, plus fun stuff happens on stage.
It makes a good blooper.
How long were you in Lombardi?
We were supposed to do 10 weeks, we were 10 months.
Wow.
But I was with Judith Light. You know, one night,
Oh, she's
I got,
amazing,
yeah, one
so-
night I got stuck on a word, and about 2 lines later, I was supposed to kiss Judith and just give her a quick kiss and walk off. So I stumbled on this word, and Judith, she's real quick, she jumped up and kissed me and walked off. So I said, boy, that was the best catch I ever had. So the next night I got to that word and I stopped and I looked at her and she went,
Not tonight.
So, you know, when you're that relaxed on stage,
Oh,
you work
that-
with
Yeah,
people.
it makes it
yeah.
so much easier, especially when you're working with people that you know and you're familiar with. But
Yeah.
fellas, one last question if I could ask you. This is about the American Theater Channel, so why is it so important that we have the American Theater Channel out there to the public?
We need records of these great performances, you know. I mean, even like Lombardi, it's being
Yeah.
done all over the place, but if you didn't see Judith Light, you really missed something.
Yeah.
If you don't
She's a
see,
phenomenal actress as well.
This buyer and seller that Michael's doing will be done a lot because it's a good play for regional theaters because it's one set, one actor. A lot of actors are going to want the challenge, but they're not going to be able to see what Michael does. This is something special. This is why it's running so long here. It is special.
Here at the Barrow Street Theater in Manhattan.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you. That's
amazing.
very
Gentlemen,
nice.
thank you very
well,
much.
Well, yeah, sorry.
Of course, yeah.
I think part of the reason why especially these new plays, especially the new works, in New York or wherever they originate, like Lombardi, and like Buyer and Seller, the time has been taken to craft them. The collaboration has been there, you know, in my case with Stephen Brackett, our amazing director, and Jonathan Tollins, the brilliant guy who wrote it, and me. The three of us have collaborated to create exactly what we meant to create. And yes, it will be done many other times, but not with the three of us. Maybe with 2 of us, or maybe with 1 of us. You know, John might be involved in other productions. Stephen might direct other productions. I probably won't work with other directors, but the 3 of us have created this piece, and it's what everyone intended it to be, and that is the record that everyone should see. That's
Yeah.
what everyone, and it will be done brilliantly in regional theaters, I'm sure, but this production and that
Actually,
production
its
of Lombardi-
chance of being done in regional theater, I think, will be enhanced if enough people see the record. Because actors, directors, they'll say, "Oh, I want to do that at our theater," you know. But without, a lot of them aren't going to be aware of it.
Absolutely. This is why it is so important. Gentlemen, thank you so much
Thanks.
once again. A pleasure meeting you both, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Join us for the adventure and opportunity of a lifetime.
The American Theater Channel needs your help.
Your modest support, combined with the support of other theater lovers,
Will create the next stage in live theater. The
the American Theater Channel,
where
everyone has the best seat in the house.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for your support of the American Theater Channel. Together, we are going to make something amazing. Special thank you to Dan Lauria and Michael Urie. I'm Jason Galka for the American Theater Channel, where everyone has the best seat in the house. See you next time.